Hey there, it's Fran Davidson from psychicandenergywork.com.au, and this is part 3 of my monthly observations on YouTube for January 2026. If you go through to my website, psychicandenergywork.com.au, to the monthly observations page, you'll find more observations about this month and even last month written there to look at as well. So the video here adds to what's written and vice versa. So it's a good idea to get across both. Right. Part 3 always looks at the MO in the month's chart. Any numerological chart, when we're talking about a month or a year or a period, even a person's birth year, it carries 2 levels of number. If we talk about generic year, as in 2026 for everybody, or generic month, January for everybody, every January brings particular dynamics. And then on top of that, if you add that to the year's dynamics, you can get even more information about how this January, this year might play out for you, even for other people or society in general. So the MO looks at how, as in the factors or the dynamics that are going to promote the birth number states that I talk about in part 2 of my observations on YouTube or the website. Yeah. So the MO again talks how. In other words, what are the currents, or how life, what are the themes that are going to nudge you towards selfness or to wisdom, or to let go of yourself, or to come into greater clarity about what you're here for, your truth, and not so much mindfulness. The MOs this month, every January, is 27/9. 2026 January brings 122, which adds down to 5. All right. So this video talks about 5 from the angle of just let it go. Just let it go. Just release. Yeah. Why do we release it on the energetic level or from a spiritual angle? For what purpose? Because mind is a gatherer. Mind is a gatherer, and therefore humans are gatherers. Yeah, we're gatherers of knowledge, we're gatherers of memories, we're gatherers of thoughts and feelings, not necessarily just our own. But what that means is that mind, and if we think about it, we all, I'd argue, tend to drive a lot from mind. In other words, we wake up and we'll start to sort of natter away to ourselves and think about the things we have to do, and then we'll meet with people and we'll have responses and further thoughts, or start to think about the future and do the same. So mind is like, should we say, a television or a radio, if you can remember what they are, it murmuring away in the background, just chattering away, and every so often it pays to reboot it. Why? Because sometimes, like all good mixing bowls, stuff can build up. And if self doesn't take the time to clear, increasingly it can start to wake up every morning driving from what was rather than what is, and therefore what could actually be if I let previous moments or previous knowledge go, without devaluing it, as I covered in the previous, as in part 2, YouTube video for this month. So, release work. You might hear the phrase every so often, just let it go, just let it go. What does that mean on an energetic level? Energetically, the way that we release fully, I'd argue, and many others would, is that we let go of everything. In other words, we don't own anything to begin with. That's not a place of lacking or not taking responsibility for things. And at the end of the day, what I'm talking about is an energetic exercise rather than an attitudinal stance. Yeah? So just letting go is about, on one level, if I give you an analogy, it's like letting go, seeing yourself, letting go of all of the thought balloons that are around you, all of the feeling balloons, all of the tension balloons, all the busy balloons, whatever balloons are popping up as you're starting to relax and just come to silence. Breath always in through the nose and out through the mouth for the count of 4 or 5 each way. Ideally, using your abdomen, not just your chest. Why? Because these things can make a difference. Don't believe me? Never push it. But and always use breath in a way that's comfortable. But often just using the lungs, in a sense, it manifests what could be called a shallowness, not in the person, but in the result. And so breathing in a way that you're breathing right down to your hips. Again, not because you're forcing, not because you're pushing. Energy work and release work on a spiritual level, any level of spiritual activity. Just existing should never be forced. It should never be efforted at. Yeah? It should just be breathed, allowed, and done. So energetically, using breath, just let it go or just release it, surrender everything. First of all, it's not a place of loss. It's not a place where you're just giving up everything that you've ever collected or had in a way that you've got nothing left in the physical. It is a place more of spring cleaning. It's a bit like opening a house that hasn't had its windows and doors open for a while, just to let the fresh air in. So it's an energetic exercise. So the way you do it, or one way you can do it again, is visualize yourself letting go of everything. Now, sometimes, again, that might come up as a manifestation of balloons. Or bubbles. It might come up as cords or cobwebs. It might come up as flies or busyness or just energetic bombardment. It can come up in all sorts of ways. So what I'm trying to say there is, as you breathe and as you choose to let go, and in a sense, that's all you need to focus on. Breathe and affirm, I just let go of everything. Letting go, as I said in the earlier video, isn't about throwing things away or diminishing their value or their importance to you. It is just, you know what, I'm going to release my contact with them for a minute. I'm going to release that sense of I'm in contact, I'm touching or I'm holding them with me, or even they're holding me, or gripping even. So release in a way that you allow these things to just be where they're at. They might be floating in the air. They might just be sitting on the carpet or the ground. They might be wherever they are. So just let them be where they're at in a way that as you breathe, you're allowing yourself to get separate from them, separate from them, and therefore giving yourself the space to divest of any build-up, of any stuckness, and any tension that has been gathering in or around you as a result of how you've been positioning or perceiving. Lots of oars and hands in there. So, release on one level, therefore, you could argue, on the energetic level as a spiritual activity, asks us to not own a thing. So, for example, what do I mean? All right, so I might be worrying about something. So as I'm using my breath, I'm breathing in through my nose and out through my mouth. And as I breathe in, I'm deciding I'm going to let go of worry. But I'm not going to just let go of my worry. I'm going to let go of all worry. Why? Because we are collective beings. Because most of us, we do pick up stuff from other people, not because other people mean for us to do that, not even necessarily because we mean to do that, but just because, hello, we're energetic beings, energy travels, we can pick stuff up. So whether it is attention, whether it is a fear, whether it is emotion, whether it is even a pain or an ache in or around the body, let it go first, because sometimes what we are sensing or feeling is because of the energetic build-up around us, rather than necessarily it being just us or ours in a way that is immovable. So, for example, if I come back to that analogy of pain, let go of all pain. I have a headache. I let go of all headache. I let go of all pain. I let go of all tension or gripping, whatever comes up as words. All of this by letting go of all rather than just mine, or just the word as intention or worry or whatever. Let go of all. Energy knows its name. Atoms know their name. The atoms of worry know that they're the atoms of worry. So by letting go of all worry, you're literally giving yourself the space. And you can visualize this if you want, but you're not creating a visual in a way that you're then pumping that out for the universe to get or somebody else. Yeah? You're just allowing yourself to visualize, if you need to, yourself letting go from your end, as if you're letting go of balloons. Now, when we let go of a balloon, it just floats off, however it does. So let go of all balloons, knowing that you don't have to make them go in a particular direction. You don't need them to leave at a particular rate, even if you'd prefer them to leave right now. Yeah, everything moves as it needs to move. It already has that intelligence. And the more we know that, the more we can get out of the way of the release work and therefore our clearing work. And actually, you know what? Just let go of your end and know that things will shift however they need to, at the rate they need to, however they can. Yeah. By doing this often, we end up clearer than if we only release what we know or think we have to release, or what we know or think is the cause of us being stuck or being overwhelmed or whatever those words are. The more we just let go, and that is often an activity that is like an onion. It's layer on layer on layer. Use your breath. Your body will tell you when you've finished. Your body will tell you whether you need to keep going, whether there's a bit more to let go of. Trust and make room for that to happen in a way that it can be an enjoyable, relaxing, and clarifying experience. Why do I talk about relaxing and letting go at this point of this year? Because in a sense, it is through our ability to let go. It's through our ability to clear space, not because we have to war with it, not because we have to push things about or make things or people do stuff. Yeah, we just have to let go. Everything wants balance. And the more you know that, the more you can just breathe, let go, let the world move on the energetic level. Because as you do that, you create the room for the right stuff, divine stuff, good stuff to drop in and claim its place again. So in short, also, therefore, I'm saying that when we're manifesting or wanting to manifest or wanting help, whether manifesting is a physical thing, a material thing, or even just a piece of guidance or a sense of, you know what, life's good. The way we do that is just let go. The more you let go of what you don't want, what you don't need, the more room you make for the universe to deliver everything it already knows that you're up for. So hopefully that helps you a little bit as you prepare for January, as you make your way through January. Just know, again, this is a time that is still about sorting. It's still about getting ready for the year to take off, which starts at Lunar New Year usually. Yeah. So take this time to clear, let go, make room to see, make room to sense, make room to get ready for launch. Take good care. All the very best to you. Feel free at any point to go through now to part 4 video for the monthly observations for January 2026. Travel well. Get in contact if you need a hand at any point. psychicandenergywork.com.au